Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and on the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Basement level vibes with
Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out, let's make memories at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton North.
Right, hey, guess what? It's 9 minutes after 9 o'clock in beautiful Guyana, of course, Eastern Standard Time as well. My name is Mark Benshop. Welcome to Straight Up. All right, hey, some things happening in Guyana. And when I mean some things, what is it we mean by that? Fire out in Mackenzie. Fire in Mackenzie. Fire in Linden. Mackenzie Market is on fire. I repeat, Mackenzie Market is on fire. And that is the news that we're now getting. We're trying to get to the location, so to speak, so that you guys can at least get a glimpse as to what's happening. We have lots of things to talk to you about tonight. Some people behaving mannish, as we can say, some mannish puppy. And we're going to talk about the boycott. We're going to talk about the effect that it's having. And we're going to talk about the petty dibby sort of comeback. And some people think that it's a masquerade. It's not a masquerade. It is just not a masquerade. Some now come on the scene, just pop up on Church Avenue and mounting up. But we'll get to them shortly. We will do that. right here on 107.1 FM. Now, let me say hi to the folks over at Linda's Restaurant. Good night to all of you there. We got Linda's Restaurant, and I've noticed some mischievous things happening. A Looney Tune ran into Pam's Bakery and telling Pam's Bakery people, "Hey, on the bread, done, the bread, done, bread." This thing seemed to be a masquerade. The owner of Pam's Bakery was on this program yesterday morning and was able to set the record straight. We respect and admire her bravery in setting the record straight. The lady explained what has happened, and I don't have a problem going into Pam's Bakery to buy a loaf of bread. Hey, I just don't. I have gone into Pam's Bakery on so many occasions, know the owner. I may not have gone recently, but I've always been there. And those who have never seen me on Church Avenue, does it really matter? When Church Avenue was Church Avenue, we're talking about Georgetown Food Market. We're talking about John Blue Real Estate. We're talking about all those businesses along Church Avenue, Starlight, Rose Garden, and all those are the foundation. Some of you are newcomers on Church Avenue. Relax yourself. Don't jump the gun. Don't mistake things. Do not do that. Do not jump the gun. Do not be used by some of those folks who are back in Guyana who might be on law enforcement radars in the United States of America. Don't fool yourselves, guys. Don't feel that you can go and make a life and threaten anybody. And threaten me of that too? It's not the nice thing to do, mind you. It is not. And some of you, before you do your life, understand the issues before you mouth off situations. Understand the issues. We'll get back to that shortly. But guess what? Lincoln Lewis is with us tonight. We'll get to Lincoln Lewis shortly. But before we get, this is what's happening. This is what happened earlier. It is still going on, I believe. Let's see. This is Mackenzie Market.
What is she, boy? What is she? What is she, boy? What is she? What is she, boy? What is she?
Let's begin first of all by welcoming.
When did he leave Islam?
Lincoln
When did he
Lewis
leave
with us
Islam?
this evening?
No, when did he leave
Lincoln,
Islam?
let's go straight to Mackenzie Hospital and that breaking news
You're not
story
Arab.
in the
Okay, when did he
at
leave Islam?
Mackenzie Hospital. What's happening here?
2011.
Sir? I know this has
You
a
born
lot
as
of
a Muslim?
memories for me. It has a lot of
You're
memories.
born as a Muslim. Tell me
Not
how
only
to pray.
Mackenzie
Salah.
Hospital,
Tell me.
but, sorry.
No, how do you pray? No, I know you don't pray anymore. But okay, tell me how you used to pray.
The fire is at Mackenzie.
Tell me how do you pray?
What are you hearing?
No,
about
I know you don't pray anymore. But what do you do? Tell me. Okay, how many times do we pray? How many times do we wait? How many times do we pray? How many times do we pray? He's ex-Muslim. He's ex-Muslim.
Can you hear me?
Every
please, sir?
time title ex-Muslim, ex-Muslim.
All right, so we're still trying to get Lincoln. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I'm hearing you, Mark.
Good night, and how are you? Welcome to Straight Up Again. What's going on? Mackenzie Market is on fire, sir.
Yeah, that's what I understood, but I have not had any more information. Just understand that it's on fire. Maybe all we can say is extend our sympathies to those who will be affected by it, and I'm sure by the entire residents of Linden, based on the knowing Mackenzie Market, what it is, where it is, it has to be something serious for them.
Absolutely. And if you're now joining us, Mackenzie Market is on fire. Mackenzie, we don't know the extension of the damage, but we are fortunate to have the mayor of Linden on the line with this impromptu call. Mr. Mayor, you are currently live on the line. Can you give us a quick update on the fire, the Mackenzie Market, please, sir?
Well, I just spoke with the fire chief in Linden, and he indicated that the fire was contained to one stall. And I must commend the fire service for the prompt response. Let me say that the issue of the market have been a matter of our attention for the past several months. In fact, our last statutory meeting, we brought up several issues concerning the market, from fire hydrants, which we discussed with Guyana, to have more fire hydrants around the market. 11 to be exact. We also met with the fire service too and indicated to them about the issue of more hydrants around the market. So those matters came up, also meeting with the head of the Linden Electricity Inc. and indicating to him our concern about the issue of the wiring around the market area and how unsafe that situation is. So as of now, we are not going to pronounce until we get from the fire service the official report on what the cause of the fire was. But I want to say those are issues, nevertheless, that remain a concern of the municipality to ensure that not only the systems are in place for a safe market, but the resources are given and allowed to be had so that we can have a safe market. But as of now, let me say that the fire has been contained. We are now meeting with the individuals who suffered losses and to indicate to them not only now on the spot, but in the morning to meet with us, and we will engage with them to assess what sort of damages they incurred and how we could move forward on this particular matter.
All right, well said. The mayor of Linden, Sharma Solomon, is with us this evening. Quickly, Mr. Mayor, before we go, anything else happening out there in Linden other than the fire? We're glad that the fire service just turned up there promptly, and kudos to them. Any other thing happening in your mining town since we have you for a quick minute, sir?
Well, you know, Mark, Linden is preparing to celebrate its 50th. This is on Monday next, the 29th of April. In observance, we use the Linden Town Week celebrations to do that. I can say that notwithstanding this very unfortunate situation, where I'm certain Linden will show the sort of support to individuals suffering, Linden is in a very festive mood. We have 10 packed days of events. And I want to say, Mark, we deliberately went with the theme. We are one people, one nation, one destiny. Linden, the heart of Guyana, ensuring that we maintain the sort of nationalist approach towards ensuring we understand our motto. This very troubling time with the Venezuelan crisis, understanding in our time at the moment that where our country is. So we embrace that motto, but at the same time understand where Linden is in terms of the heart of Guyana concept in geographical positioning and all opportunities available in different resource sector, whether manufacturing, agriculture. So this is what Linden Town Week 2024, our 54th edition as a town, and 28 observance based on the Town Week dates given. We hope to use as a vehicle to move Linden to promote as the heart of Guyana. So yes, we're in that mood. Conscious, however, Mark, of the challenges ahead of us. Conscious, however, of a government who is not prepared to see this festive mood move forward. For the past 72 hours, we have seen more blackouts. We have never seen this amount of blackouts in the past couple of months. In the past couple of days, we've gotten from our clerk the sort of resistance to see this particular activity move forward. force by selling this event out for $345,000 to friends of the PPP. So, notwithstanding we are about to celebrate, we are aware of the challenges not only for Linden, but for the rest of Guyana.
You know, Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you so much, and really sorry that I had to call you in impromptu. This is an impromptu interview, but I did see that you made a post about the fire there in Mackenzie. You were on the scene, and that is what you call a hands-on mayor. Sharma Solomon, the mayor of Linden, thank you so much, sir, for this update.
Thank you for having me, Mark. Have a blessed evening.
Good, thank you so much. Again, the fire has been contained out at Mackenzie Market, and thankfully it's nobody seriously injured and just one stall damaged. We just want those the stall owner to know that our prayers are with that person. Hope that it's not much some sort of a substantial kind of damage there or loss. All right, so in moving on in tonight's program, Lincoln Lewis, good to see you. Veteran trade unionists, they're preparing for May Day. It's going to be the women, the working class women, the workers, and I'm glad that homage will be paid to those hardworking women in beautiful Guyana. But before we get to that now, Lincoln, welcome and good to see you back on the program. Not so long ago, we heard that this is what the regime was doing. They called individuals in to give them the marching order. With these stalls around the seawall there from Camp Street all the way to Vicingen Road. And now, not surprisingly, the regime they know that they have been caught with their pants down, and widespread coverage with this particular act of racism. So in about turn, Lincoln, before we get to your comment, let's go to what Edgil had to say earlier. These vagabonds in the PVP, this is what they were about to do to African persons. But this is what happens when you stand up and you protest and you say enough is enough. So they took shame out of their eyes, and this is what they said earlier.
My apologies for being late. Okay. My flight was delayed due to bad weather. So the inconvenience of having you come to 2 o'clock was my intention, but I was unnecessarily. I've asked to meet with you. I've noticed that I'm meeting with more than vendors who would like to trade here, but that's not a problem. Let me say just a few things so everybody could be at ease. Every person who have received permission from the Sea and River Defense Board to vend on the PTC will continue. Any misinformation that the government was removing vendors is a clear mischief making. What?
All right, Lincoln, let's get straight over to you on the first question. These people went to a meeting. They were told to attend a meeting with officials of his ministry, according to what we saw in the news. And then, lo and behold, they told these people that they have to remove their structures. They got to remove it by the next day or something along those lines. They instructed those individuals that they got to remove their structures. Move it. Find somewhere else to put it. Because the land right there, because remember, they're putting up Qatari Hotel. Let's not fall for this bluff. These house slaves in the PPP regime and racists in the PPP regime, like Jack Ewan Irfan and others, they realized that they got caught with their pants down because after they fooled the people in Brooklyn, hugged them up, kind of like did some political propaganda work there in Brooklyn for those who were easily caught in a trap, went back to Guyana and did this to the people. And because we stood up against them, they took shame out of their eyes and said that it was mischief. Mr. Lewis, what is your take on this bout turn by the PPP regime?
I want to tell you, Mark, the PPP, they are going to come again to move those people. They are going to come again. We are in you see, even what is happening in the islands, is that you find foreigners coming in and occupying even the beaches that the locals in the Caribbean used to, was at their disposal in the past, that they can go and do their parties and what have you on those beaches. What we are getting here now, we're not going on the beach, but we are getting on the areas on the seawall, where the areas on the seawall where persons currently occupy, though they will make every effort to move those people out, since they have committed themselves to give to those people, give to the foreigners the opportunity to open the hotels along the lands that were established there primarily to for sporting purposes, for recreation purposes. You see what they're doing? The issue of recreation don't mean anything to them any longer. It's just about getting some structures there, making money in a different form. The citizens don't matter. I don't believe anything Agil says. Whenever it comes to the issue of the citizens' rights, they're not going to be he's not going to be straight with people. He's going to remove them. You have had the situation at Plaisance and those areas where you have had those people are given instructions to remove from their what do you call it, from the roadside where they're vending. Jack Dio went there and said, no, you don't have to remove, when the people stood up. Well, now they got to remove. They're now being given notice to move, the same people. So that's what they have done there, Mark. It's a usual thing. They're going to come again. They are going to come again to move those people. And when they move them, even when they are going to find, even if the area is going to have, people are going to be permitted to hold stalls and so on in those areas, they're not going to give the stalls to those people who are currently occupying. So they have to be prepared for a long fight with them.
Yes, prepare for a long fight, because the government, the so-called government, doesn't have a heart in dealing with these people. They're lying to the people, because they did call those individuals and give them their marching orders. But because of the fight back, and this is why the fight back is important. And sometimes not only the regime that we got to fight back, we got to fight back some of those stooges who are now being given crumbs to do some of the dirty works. But we'll deal with some of the stooges in terms of exposing them shortly, quite a few of them. But I want those folks in Brooklyn to know, some of those folks, not all of them, who feel that Irfan Ali likes them or the PPP like them. They feel that way. There are those in the PPP who are describing those who met with Irfan Ali as thugs, those Brooklyn, and that's a shame and a disgrace. Lincoln, lots of other things happening in the country, though. It is as though Irfan Ali doesn't care. He goes around in places, he hugs persons of African descent and pretend as though they love those individuals. How does that make you feel when you see the hypocrisy in Irfan Ali and Jack Dio?
It is something that it's what we call, it's something that really irks me about how they treat with the African community. Let me tell you, let me put it this way to you, what happens here. They use state power or a privileged position to go into these communities and to say to people, we care about you guys, when they know damn well they don't care. Guyanese are people who like to see their leaders, or like their leaders to come to them, to hug them. And what they have done, they have mastered the art in doing it for the African community, in the African community. they have mastered the art in going in and say to them, hug them, behave as if they sit down and play domino with them. And when they leave, they tell them, man, when they leave, the people will see, man, this man is down to earth, he's a nice guy. But when they leave you in a state of comfort. But as they move on in doing the state's business, they put systems in place to discriminate against you, for you to deny you of things. That's how they behave. And it is time that the African community come to terms and realize that these guys don't care. They won't give them anything. Let me say to you, they do it this way. If you have, anytime a black community is under, African community is under pressure, and they respond, and in responding, they accuse the PPP government of discrimination. The first person they send, they look for blackface to send there. They do it all the time. It is something where you want to know if they select people and treat them as if they're our slaves, and send those people down there. So when you're talking to the African community, or when the African community is talking about discrimination, the people who say that there is no discrimination, they have faces that look like them. What they do is put them there to blunt the acts that they're committing. And they did it with Sam Hines when he was prime minister. They brought Ejil, they're doing it. When they were breaking down things across the country, they bring Robeson Ben. That he already named Jacama Ben, breaking down people's structure throughout the countries. So it is not, it is part of the program as they seek to discriminate against you, is to take somebody look like you, to say to the world that there is no discrimination. That's why I'm serious.
Thank you so much, Lincoln. But do you think Guyanese of African descent are getting the message, or they're just ignoring it for a couple of small slices of bread? Oh, money got make, we got to live. Because we got to be careful with some of them with that, even though they're the minority, money got make. Some of them saying, oh, we get money now. I mean, how dangerous is that? Because don't they know they're selling themselves to basically a bunch of individuals who do not care about them or their people or their kids or their future? How dangerous is that, what the PPP is doing?
Let me tell you, there was a period in this country when a president of this country used to walk around and tell the people, when you're working with Louis and all them people, you look after yourself. Get a house, get a car. They don't care. What they were doing is socialize this. They have socialized this society to believe that physical things like a house and a car, while they may be necessary in some case, at the beginning and the end of it, they will never take the position to say, look, working towards, there must be some guidelines that guide society and societal development. They're not looking at those things. They socialize the people to believe that getting rich overnight, even if it is by illegal means, it is necessary. It is important. That what we have done. And because they have done that, a number of persons now say, look, let me make money, even if it requires selling my brother, selling my sister, even if it requires saying to my sister or to my family, join me, do what I'm doing, let me do them. Not only join me, join the government in what they're doing to discriminate against people. And for $2 more, it is something that we have been on to for some time now. That's what they're doing. I made a point earlier where they're sending the African man to blunt what the African man does, you know. A lot of people don't. We see it in a certain respect. They put schemes in place, right? Like they may say, oh, we get a scheme that you can have what we call
professional housing. All these.
We can have housing, for instance. But when it's executed for the benefit of a specific group, not for everybody. Everybody don't get the same treatment. You know, they say we have business arrangements, we have business and we got this incubator where we're providing business money for businesses and so on. Yes, you have it. But then what you're not opening it up for everybody, that the rules be applied for everybody across the board.
It's just, and you're correct, Lincoln, there's not an equal level playing field for people across the board. It's just for friends and family. This, viewer, Shondell Jerick is saying, some Africans prefer to have someone hug and smile with them, knowing they are lying to them, but they despise the truth, an honest person that might talk hard and is straightforward in their doings. So profoundly said, Shondell. I really do appreciate that. But there is this other comment, Lincoln. I'd like for you to address it. It's coming from Netabicket, all these names. So let us see here. This person is saying, because these conversations that we're having right now, these conversations are not happening in Guyana. Why is it that we're not having these sort of conversations, straightforward conversations, specifically to the African Guyanese community? Why aren't we having these sort of conversations on the ground, sir?
It's happening, you know. Not saying not happening, it's happening. But what happens is that the people have been using the state resources and state power to blunt whatever is being done. They have been doing that. Let me don't run from it. That's what's being done. These guys, let me tell you something. I've been saying it that Jack Doe is nothing unless he has state power. These guys, if they, all right, let me put it this way. As how Lincoln Lewis, would stand up publicly and say what I want to say about this government. If Jack Doe is coming down the corridor somewhere and is he alone and I am coming the other direction, you look for the first door to go in. These guys are covered, you know. But as now you get state machinery on it, you walk across, walk behind them and you put them in front and you will curse us. These things happening. What we're not doing, it may not be happening as often as people would like it to happen, but it's happening. We have to come to terms and understand our problem. That because of all right, let me give you an example. I saw something yesterday where they are attempting to make an ad where Ali is saying that the issue in Brooklyn last week, that the issue that what the people calling for boycott, is racist. How can it be racist when I'm calling for boycott of the same race I come from? Racism is when you're from a one race or a different ethnic group and you are attacking another ethnic group. So what I'm trying to point out to you, even when there's a disagreement in the family, they look to benefit from it. And in some form or the other. In this case here, they are looking to put a spin on it that is racist. How is it? And that's the problem. You know, I had to say to somebody quite recently that the issue that occurred in Brooklyn quite recently, and when people call for boycott, we narrow it down to the point where we are saying, and this coming from the African community, you support the boycott. I don't support it. You are not to support it because of people's business and so on. You know, it is not whether you support it or not. I'll tell them not whether you support it or not. It is that the people have asked for a boycott, but you must understand how people feel. Here you have a president that is discriminating against a people. He and his government. He has been accused of discrimination. Evidence is there. And what has not happened? They have not put systems in place to even address the accusations. Every time they have a problem or they have to report to some international institution, they take a blackface and send it there to speak against, to say to the world that there is no discrimination. Here again is applying the old slave mentality. Applying the old slave mentality. But it goes to the core of it. In that specific case at Brooklyn, it is not whether you support or you don't support it. It's that the people who are the business community, the people who support their business community, their businesses in fact, they and their families are being discriminated against. What you have is that the president that is involved in this discrimination, he and his cohorts who are involved in discrimination, go to the same businesses and talk with them, hug them, and they sit there, hug them and they sit there, not only tolerate them, they entertain them. And what they are doing is sanitizing their conduct. So that's a process of sanitizing their conduct. Saying to the world, we are not discriminating. We are not racist. We love you people. If you are using, for instance, they are using, in fact, or your business is allowing them, helping them to sanitize their conduct, their image, when they are discriminated against a populace, they are discriminating against them. Good? It is the people's money. It's the community money that keeps your business going. And when people call for boycott, there's not anything new in society. There's not anything new in that. So I don't know what is big. What the business community need to stop and think about is not the call for. It's not only the call for boycott, but they need to take on board, beginning to think or to try to understand from what perspective the people who are asking for boycott, representing the interests of citizenry, of Guyanese citizens, asking they should stop to think how those people see them, how those people see issues of this nature. Okay? You need to have that. Okay? We are people, we like to hobnob with people in power at a certain level, you know. And those who run in, here the president inside here and running. I understand why they're running, but I'm expecting that people, when you're at a certain level, you behave in a certain way. You behave in a certain way. I don't know if the people in the United States, if they just look down to see what's happening down here. Look at community meetings, for instance. When the government holds a community meeting anywhere in Guyana, anybody who decides that they are going to question what the president or the vice president or whosoever say, even if you're playing cricket, the issue is as glaring like you're playing cricket with a football, you're seeing the ball all the time. The truth is in front of them, and you confront them with the truth. The first thing that they do is to turn to humiliate you. They will not stop to think that this man or woman has a point, and let us seek to address it. What they're going to do is to abuse them out. Those are the type of things. That is the behavior of this government, and we need to take on board the concerns of the citizens. I would prefer, as I was talking about the issue in Brooklyn, I would prefer that rather than cursing out the people who may have called for boycott, the business community stop and seek to understand what are the problems, what are the concerns of the Guyanese community, the African Guyanese community, and they need to seek to work to correct it. You have a president. Tell me you don't know, you don't hear about the discrimination? Why can't you not use your business to say to people, say to President Ali, I need to talk with you. I want to talk to you about the concerns of Guyanese. I would expect a businessman who come from Buxton would have raised with them the bulldozing of the lands at the back dams, at the thing, and they take a couple dollars and give them mango trees, coconut trees. They don't be back, they don't come back within months and weeks. You have destroyed the livelihood of the people of this country, in villages. We need to look at these things. There are all those things. The issue of ancestral land, where they're going about and just collect people land and push people off.
But Lincoln, all of these things happening, we know that on a daily basis. I deal with that as well. Lots of phone calls of people complaining that their lands are being taken away, their properties being bulldozed, businesses, all manner of things, and majority of those people are of African descent. But getting back to the boycott, the sweet boycott, that's affecting some of them there. Some of them who have basically planned this whole thing. It's affecting them. Don't be fooled, guys. Now, the PPP is trying to say that, oh, those people like us are the bad set of people. Look at what they're doing. But they're not going to tell people what they're doing to harm the community. Irfan and these guys do not care about the people in Brooklyn. They do not care about African Guyanese. Of course, they don't care about Guyanese, period. But I want to remind people, Lincoln, about the hypocrisy of Jack Dale and Irfan and these corrupt people in the PPP regime. In 2015, not so long ago, this is what Jack Dale said. Jack Dale called on his supporters to boycott the media houses, especially Stabrook News, Kaiser News, and so forth, and others who are not saying things in favor of the PPP. Wasn't he taking bread, so to speak, out of the mouths of those people? The same argument that they're trying to make now is what they have encouraged their supporters to do, and even worse. Explain the hypocrisy here now.
Let me just tell you this. You take those same, you don't have to even go back there, and take those same businessmen and women who are in Brooklyn, and they want to open a business here. You have Go Invest, right? Go Invest is his name, where they have that is responsible for concessions and these type of things. You know, they go to Go Invest there to request concessions to bring in a number of things. Well, they may be entitled to it. You know they will not be able to get it unless Jack Dew. It
goes
permission. Yeah. Give permission that they get it. These are the rules. The rules are there, but they're not activated. They're not activated by the people who are put to activate those rules. Don't have the authority to do so. These things are activated politically. And Jack, you have to run through, do A to Z on you, and even decide whether you will get it or not. So when he goes out there and says, man, if you, as long as they tell you, you won't get it, you better believe it, that you won't get nothing.
Absolutely truthful, you'll get nothing. Lincoln Lewis is with us this evening. And so this crocodile tears about all they want to do is to control the few. They march into Brooklyn. Do you guys, and I pity these guys, some of them who are making lives. They just don't understand the issues. They're just going for the moment. And some of them feel they could cuss up and they could this and that. Look, let me say, people are entitled to their views. But you've got to be responsible with your views. One of those guys coming out of the hills believe that he can make a live and threaten. Now, it's okay to make your live, do whatever you want to do, say whatever you want to say, but do not cross the line of threatening people. And I do believe that on this guy's live, someone sent it to me, threatening people. He threatened me. He says, hey, come to Brooklyn and we're going to come here. Come here and you're going to see what's going to happen. That is a threat. And if anybody who knows this guy, tell him he's got to desist from these sort of threats. Go on your live, do your propaganda, talk your crap, do whatever you got to do, but do not threaten people. Don't let some of those drug lords in Guyana basically tell you guys what to do. Now, Irfan Ali popped into Brooklyn, you know, him and his guy, you see James Richmond there with them as well. You see Kush. Oh, Kush is back in the U.S. Under what sort of visa? That's another issue. Is he escorting Irfan Ali now as a security? Has he been given a security pass? I don't know, but we can touch on that some other time. But let's talk about the hypocrisy of Jack Dale and how he believes that people, especially persons of African descent, must accept him. But when he talks to his supporters, and I want those few individuals in Brooklyn to hear this, he urges his supporters to chase people out and treat them like this.
Right across Guyana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal. Say to them, you're illegal. Free up the country, you're undemocratic. They're going to face a different situation right across the country.
When they come to the communities, whether it is in Berbice or Essequibo and Linden or in South Georgetown or Agricola or in Ennore or Port Morant, the people of Guyana should treat them as illegal. I said they should walk behind them, chase them out of your communities, because it means they've been squatting in power.
Walk behind them, chase them out.
Can I make a point?
Sure, Lincoln.
Can I make a point?
Sure, go ahead.
We have to, as this thing unfolds, the African community need to be more vigilant. And that's the reason why I always talk about that the budget ought not to be passed with a simple majority. We must have approximately 60% of the people in National Assembly, the representatives in National Assembly, passing a budget, voting for a budget to be passed, which will force governments to walk across the aisle and to treat people differently. The African community finds itself in a very difficult circumstance right now. For them to get business, state business, which a lot of business coming from the state, they have to prostitute themselves to do it. We have to do that, as a people, we gotta do that. And you know why people are edging and going further to them? Because each day the government tightens the grip on the African community, African business, and so forth. But our community as a community, we do not band ourselves and fight together to make sure that we get something for our people. We're not doing it. We have to start doing things of that nature. We have to start talking about we're going to empower the African community. What amount of contracts are going to be put aside for the African community, rather than we allowing the government to determine totally where the contracts will go, and the African community will not get unless these guys are prepared to compromise themselves in moving forward to have the to get anything from it. We have to start. We have to start fighting as a group. We have to demand that a certain amount of these contracts be put aside for the African community. We have to demand that a section that be done in consonant with the population ratio. If 45% of the state contracts they are going to put aside for the African community, yes, let me put it, and let we think among ourselves through it. Until we start doing that and building the confidence in the business community, the African business community, we ain't gonna get through. We don't get more people who run into the government because the government is using the state power to force the African community to do certain things. Let me think about it. We have to do it. You have to start looking at this thing differently, my brother. These guys are not doing it because, many of them not doing it because they want to do it, but they are forced to do it. They are backed into corners. Like yesterday, I was talking with a businessman. Yesterday, and he was telling me about his concern. He gets no business. He gets no business. What should you do? What may well happen, he may have to walk and go to them and beg them.
You know,
So until such time that we are in a position to do better, people are going to walk and go to them because their businesses are going to fall up. But I still believe that there's a way out. I still believe that our African leaders need to be more concerned about the community rather than be concerned about themselves. You know, I'll tell you what. Let me give you. When you had, let me take for instance the apology situation, where we have had so many organizations, African organizations, who were compromised to the point that they went and they take this money from the government. The government gives them the money, finish, right? And there is what we call institutionalized discrimination by the state in the African, in so many African communities and groups. You have had that, but the same people who come out and they bash apology, say apology and doing this and that, I have not heard them coming out to speak about the discrimination that exists, right? Well, I'm raising this for you to understand that we have had a number of persons who consider themselves leaders in the African community. They don't come out to bash the government, and unless we start that change, the change has to go to the understanding of the problem and the understanding that those who we select as leaders have a responsibility to represent our interests. We're going to continue to be in this problem.
You know,
in this state of affairs.
You are so correct. You're so correct, Lincoln Lewis, veteran trade unionist. Lincoln, I want to say to you and all of our listeners, Air Finale, and this is what some of those folks in Brooklyn who are only looking for little crumbs, what they could get, some little crumbs, money got make. And, you know, that's dangerous because those are people who are only thinking for the moment. And we've got to set the record straight. And some people feel as though the boycott is against the put. You cannot support a business if that business is embracing a racist government, a government that is committing brutal acts against people who look like you. Story done. But he didn't go in, Irfan Ali didn't go into Brooklyn to respect the people of Brooklyn. He went there to show them disrespect. And that is exactly what happened. I want to remind our listeners what the leader of the opposition did when he went to Queens. Take a look at the difference, guys. Aubrey Norton, sometime last year. Take a look, guys, and understand what we are saying right here. Take a listen. This is Aubrey Norton in the heart of Richmond Hill, Queens, New York last year.
And you will see that there were multiple exits so that people can get out. In large measure, I'm saying the infrastructure programs generate problems. And now you're doing alternative roads as if you were solving the problem, when in the first place, you created the problem. What we need is a proper assessment of infrastructure needs and then develop a structure program, which must include, I believe, interregional highways. We link Linden going right through to Lethem, the Corentyne, all of them. We link these regions. In linking these regions, you will own lands for development. If we continue on the strip we are talking about, we're not looking at development, we're looking at increased competition. I don't want to hold this afternoon with all the details, but I want to say to you, infrastructure in Guyana seems focused on promoting corruption rather than development of the people. Just invited to Providence area, and roads that were recently built are already on the way. It means the contractors that are linked to the government will get paid again to do the same work. We do not have.
All right, that was a meeting in Queens, New York. Aubrey Norton went right into the heart of Queens, New York, and he had that meeting there. But that wasn't it. Look at what they did outside of the meeting, Lincoln. And the point I'm making is Irfan Ali doesn't respect the African Guyanese community in Brooklyn. To say that if you want to address the people about concerns that they may have pertaining to Guyana, do it in a respectable manner. They never did that. But this is what they did to Aubrey Norton, even though it was a respectable meeting out there in Queens. Well, I'm glad that they're finally done. They've made their points to God in heaven knows who or where. Can we hear what's going on inside now, though? Can we hear what's going on inside, which is far more important now? Yeah.
PNC's racism.
Investors, they just disappeared. They disappeared. We're going to try to go. Doing.
Hi, Mark.
Yep.
I'm great. I'm great.
What's happening outside now?
Well, they've disappeared.
No.
They've disappeared.
What, Chanel, before we go back inside, what really were they protesting about? What was the protest about, really?
I was seeing placards talking about housing and that we're fraudsters and we're not welcome in Queens. And I don't know what housing has to do with the opposition leader. I don't even know why they're protesting the opposition leader. That's the first thing. I'm kind of confused. But I don't know. They disappeared. I don't know. I thought they would have been here all night and waiting until he came out. But he comes out. But
we are talking about. It's half the folk setting up my budget. That I'm committed.
No more. I'm not going to let them get away.
Yep.
I'm not going to let them get away. They're not going to walk out here and be preaching righteousness. When you hit a woman, hit me, I'm in front of your face now.
Absolutely. And that's not the first time too. He went to jail for assaulting a little girl.
Questions, sweetheart.
You don't want to hear.
Ask your question. Ask your question.
Answer the stuff, sir. I am not answer the stuff.
But I'm trying to answer your question. Become an idiot. Get away from me.
Well, what you said, sir?
No.
What about him? What about him?
Remember, I'm one man.
Doesn't want to
you won't put your hands on me.
Good job, guys.
You are a criminal. Any man that hit a woman is a coward.
Are you there, Mark?
Good job. Yep, they should have asked him about the fact that he assaulted a little boy or a little girl.
No more. I'm not going to let him get away.
Yep.
I'm not going to let them get away. They're not going to walk out here and be preaching righteousness.
So, Lincoln.
Hello. I've lost you, Mark.
Yeah, sorry about that, Lincoln. So you saw, sorry about that, Lincoln and our listeners. You saw what happened there. Aubrey Norton, the leader of the opposition, went to Queens to have a cordial meeting with the Guyanese community there, predominantly East Indian Guyanese community out there in Queens. You saw what they did. A couple of them were from the Guyana consulate. But those same folks from the Guyana consulate went to Brooklyn and want to be treated as though they are human beings, they're civilized human beings. But yet they were right there in Queens attempting to break up Aubrey Norton's meeting. But they want Irfan Ali to go in Brooklyn and people must open their arms and hug him up. Your take on the hypocrisy, please, Lincoln.
My only concern is that often they are using the staff of the various embassies and consulates and these type of things in a partisan way to enhance political party political interests. I believe it's wrong to be using the staff for that purpose. And we need to tell them we have to start. You see, the problem with this government, with our country is that we're not putting what we call the demarcation between a public servant and a political appointee. But even where you have political appointees where we are political appointee in an embassy, when it comes to the citizenry of the country, you don't go there and hold placard for government against your own people, against the opposition and these type of things. You don't do that. We have to do it differently. We have changed the course in Mark. The course governance in this country is so difficult. This thing of our time is our time. You got to come to the end, because these are the type of things that put groups against groups, and groups picking up guns against groups. You know, you got to stop.
Good, and you're correct. We get your point, Roxanne Haywood. Here, you see, you guys saw what happened in Queens, and let's go back to the town hall meeting that Aubrey Norton had in Queens, and how those PPP folks who were paid for with taxpayers' money from the Guyana consulate, some of them, and PPP operatives went to break the meeting up, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. The police, NYPD officers were there, and supporters, human rights folks were out there to stand up against those PPP protesters, most of them from the Guyana consulate. Listen to this part, please, guys.
But even with Exxon being as powerful as it is, if we do not diversify the economy, if we do not ensure that there are other sectors that are competing, then we ourselves will be giving control to Exxon. And I submit to you, I am seeing no plans to develop the non-oil sector to ensure that we remove the vulnerabilities that exist. And so my answer to your question will be, no one will say the fact that Exxon wields untold power. But if we use our political power and social responsibility in the right context, and with the right approaches and the right strategies, we can attenuate it.
You have a question? Yes. Okay. I'll let you shake your arm first with that. No problem. Remember, I don't see you as a president. You don't even look that impressed.
Master, chairman of the occasion here to function, leader of the opposition, other heads of the table here. First, I'd like to say a hearty welcome to Little Guyana. As a concern, concerned Guyanese in the United States, there are many concerns that brings my attention to. We're looking for progress, we're looking for development. And let's you have some great ideas to make Guyana a better place. Based on the nature of election, pre and post activities, what will you?
You know, Lincoln, we took a pause on that just to show just basically an example of what decency is as it pertains to political maturity. And going into a community to respect that community, to have meetings of such, town hall meetings, that is what the people in Brooklyn were expecting Irfan Ali to do, to face them, face the hard questions. He wasn't prepared to do that. All he was prepared to do was a drive-by, so to speak, stand up and talk crap with the people, and not only talking crap, jump on a bicycle, ride around, take a few photographs, and present themselves with some of these business people who like to give people impression that they care, when in fact the evidence is proving otherwise at this time. I want you, please, Lincoln, to listen to this tape, and you will see what some of these people are doing to damage the community there in Brooklyn. Take a listen, please, sir.
Take responsibility. We want you to look out for us. We do not want no segregation. No. We are one people. And if we're going to do it, let's do it together, because we have respect for you. Thank you.
All right, President. All right, I agree with you, and I would have it no other way. No other way. There is only one way forward, and that is united. That is for us to band together, for us to understand the challenges together, and for us to overcome those challenges.
Don't ask what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for the country. So we're here to work together as one.
Thank you.
Let's do it orderly.
We have to have youth of the hills, restaurant, and I'm proud to know we are Guyanese. And today I have one Guyanese scholar. I represent Guyana. I born in Guyana.
That's at the Hills, and the Hills is feeling the squeeze. I noticed some petty lashback, so to speak. Petty, very, very, it's nothing that's surprising. Very petty, but we stick to the subject here. The Hills restaurant is in serious trouble as it pertains to members of the community who are prepared for the long haul in terms of boycotting. Your take, Lincoln, on what you heard there on that tape, giving Irfan Ali all this props when he
not. Let me just make this point to you, Mark. Let me just make this point about this issue. This thing about working together and unity and all that, these are cliches that never been achieved, you know. We just talk about these type of things. We're working together to do what? To make Guyana a better place? You can, if the people who are in charge, their vision is for, as they talk about one Guyana, and a one Guyana to us mean that it's an elite group getting stronger, and the masses remain poor and destitute to a large extent. How are we talking about one Guyana? Like that person raised the point and said, don't ask what you can do for your country, ask what your country. We don't ask what your country can do for you. You ask what you can do for the country. You have, you know, it needs to be contextualized. Not just using cliches. And people see it as something nice. Like when people tell me about unity, you know, what we unite around? We got to unite around some common principle. Why is it that we united around? We have people here who are crying, screaming discrimination. There's a group that say, let us unite around establishing and protecting rights and the rule of law. There's something we can do. There's something tangible we can look at. Not just these cliches. And the faster we come to terms to realize that when we do this, what we are doing, we are pandering to those who may be considered as not understanding politics and development. That's what you do. And that's what Ali walking around doing. Ali, everywhere Ali goes, you ever hear him in any serious issue? You check it. He talks the fluff. And when you meet to Jack Dio, you get a dick. That's the problem. So we have to come to terms and understand that we do have a problem, and the problem must be addressed. In this case, is that they're not accepting that there's a problem, and because they're not accepting there's a problem, they make no effort to resolve the problem, and that is what it is. Good.
All right. As we prepare to close out this evening, Lincoln Lewis, some folks seem to think that boycott is a bad thing, and that
is a what?
It is a bad thing. They think it's a bad thing. And
can I make this point, Mark? Can I make this point again? There will be opinion about from various persons about boycott. The issue here, I'm not saying that it's good. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm saying that you ought not to look whether it's good or bad. I'm saying that what we should seek to do is to understand other people's problem, other people when they are in some position, right? You can't just say that you shouldn't ask for the boycott. You should call for boycott. Seek to understand the people who spending the money at these businesses, what their leaders are saying. Seek to understand those things. This problem, we have a serious problem in the African community. We have a very, very serious problem, and something has to be done. And I'm saying that the problem is not only with the government. The problem is that it's in the African community not holding the government accountable, right? We have to do that. We have a problem where our people love to be hobnob with people in position, and even when they're kicking them, they still want to hold on to the petticoat and say, I'm with you, Massa. We have to do something about that. Something has to be done for the African community. And the solution starts with us. Well,
the solution certainly starts with us. Lincoln, you guys have a Labor Day stuff coming up. GTUC presents the Labor Day March and Rally. Talk to us briefly about that, please, before we close off.
Let me say to you, Mark, this year what we are doing. On kicking off Labor Week will be the reclaim ceremony. And that reclaim ceremony, because our women has been at the forefront over the years in all these struggles, these major struggles. Check the public service in 1999. Check the teachers, there are women who have been out there. What we are doing this year is that we are kicking off this year with an all-woman event at the reclaim ceremony at the forecourt of the Parliament building. All the people who are speaking, all the speakers are women. Right? You are the president of the Postal and Telecommunication Workers Union, Ms. Giselle Nelson. She will be the chairperson doing the welcome and so on. And you have other officers from other unions. from the PSU, from the local government officer union, from the what you call the teachers union, and the TUC gonna be speaking there. All the people who will be wearing the wreaths this year gonna be all women. We are doing it against the backdrop that we want to remind the world about the struggles of the women in this country and the Caribbean and the wider society. So this year we start with that. On Labor Day, we have had a major victory last week at the court, just as soon as that as Andong's judgment. We know the government said that they're going to appeal. Labor Day is for us to mobilize. This year about the rights, the rule of law, and we have to make sure that we have a place in society. So Labor Day we have not yet decided on the team from Labor Day, who will be the speakers and what role we will play. I know the president will be there. Teachers will be there, teachers president. Well, there will be a number of other speakers there this year, because what we are doing is to strengthen the struggle or resolve against the atrocities that have been committed by this government. So Labor Day will be a big and a strong day for us.
All right, and we will broadcast it. Sorry, Lincoln, we will broadcast it right here on 107.1 FM. And just quickly before we go, there will be a meeting out in where is it? Brooklyn. This is what is it? According to the flyer, this is Roysdale Ford, a meet and greet, I believe. We will talk a little more with his people about that, but Roysdale Ford is scheduled to be in the U.S. There's a barbecue. There's a meeting also at Woodbine Ballroom, a town hall meeting at Woodbine Ballroom. We will bring that information for you. A town hall meeting early next month. I believe it's the 10th of May. A town hall meeting at Woodbine Ballroom. Lincoln, in closing, before you go, because we know Tanti Moral has her press conference, or if you want to, his, whatever it is, press conference tomorrow, and he's going to lie and lie and lie and play the victim role, the hypocrisy and so forth. This is the same guy, Jack Dale, who called for boycott of newspapers, boycott of businesses, and all these manner of things, and that people should be chased out of communities, all these things. And tomorrow he's going to play Mr. Innocent tomorrow. Closing remarks, please, sir. And don't be surprised if he calls you a racist tomorrow, calls me a racist.
He normally calls me all the names he could. But I want to remind him that I am one of the things I've never been accused of being a parasite to this society. I've never been accused of putting my hands in the state coffers, carrying away the wealth of the country. We too often we give him too much of importance, too much of recognition. I believe that we have had our day in court. Justice Kisuna's and the Dong's decision. We are working to make sure that that decision is being implemented. That will be one of the Herculean tasks, and we're going to be working, making sure we work to have that done, right? We're not going to be distracted by, Mr. Jagdeo is, what do we call it? He runs a circus, and he don't look for a clown, he takes the job off. So I don't worry.
He already has a clown. He already has a clown that he sent to Brooklyn to ride a bike.
Right. So we are going to, I want to say thanks to the viewers for tolerating us tonight. Their soft issues, they are dedicated we're dealing with. I want to urge each community that we need to hold hands and crusade against the atrocities that are committed against the government. The issue is not whether I am an African or an East Indian, is that or a Portuguese. It's as long we have had what we call, as long my rights have been transgressed, it is only time that yours will be. And then the other person. These guys, I want to remind you that they don't care about us. We have to care about ourselves. We have to join forces in and across communities to repel them from these atrocities that they're committing each day. I want to say good night and goodbye for tonight to the viewers, and ask you to stay focused as we work together. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much, Lincoln, veteran trade unionist. We are very thankful to have someone like Lincoln still around within our midst, still fighting the good fight and sticking and has been consistent in that fight. Lincoln Brandon Lewis, veteran trade unionist, thank you so much. Nothing is wrong with protest, but something is wrong when you take your money and you spend it with people who are embracing the dictators, are embracing the dictators to continue to oppress you, to oppress folks who look like you. You've got to be careful how you spend your money. And if people do your community a wrong, they need to come out and apologize for that wrong or explain what is it that led to that. They cannot be bullied, having people running into your store and videoing and, oh, look, Puri still there, Puri. An empty store, empty glass case doesn't mean anything. Oh, look at Puri there, Puri. What is it, a comedy show? Is that what it is? And is that how you think you're going to mend the situation with members in your community? And then you expect those folks to bluff their way through people? It's not going to work with me. It's not going to work with me at all. Do not bluff me. And then there was an individual who walked over into Pam's Bakery. Oh, Benjob calling for protest at Pam's Bakery. Owner and I had a nice conversation right here. And that's to show you people just talk. It's like a bunch of mouth organs. They don't listen. They don't think. They just talk. Why? You don't go. You can't come here. We got this and we got. Really? You couldn't be serious. Really? Come here, we're going to show you what we're going to do. Is that what it is? Who knows this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this individual? Somebody let me know. Who is this individual who believes that he can go on social media and threaten people? Is this what the people at Hills are encouraging? Is this what the owner of Hills is encouraging? I hope not. I hope not. That's all I wish to say. If people are going to be in support of businesses that I believe that I'm not supporting, and other members of the community in Brooklyn there believe that they're not supporting, they have that right. And if you're going to have your people to go out and make their videos, it's fair. It's fair games. Don't get me wrong. But do not play that you can sit on social media to threaten me or to threaten anybody else. It is not going to be accepted. Who is this guy? That's all I wish to know. But in closing off, this is what the clown did when he was in Brooklyn, Irfan Ali. That is what he is, a clown, a big clown. And a few people have embraced him in Brooklyn. A few people. They have embraced him not because they believe in him, not because they like him, but they have embraced him because they see that they can get something for the short moment. You hear some of the word, bigal, moniga, mek, right? That's ignorance, that's stupidity. Moniga, mek. And look, Clinton Hollingsworth is saying that I will not support any of those businesses. That's Clinton F. Hollingsworth. And there are tons of other people who are feeling the same way as well, or who feel the same way as well. This is not a couple of them who jump up and set a noise and believe that that's going to attract customers to your business. It is not going to attract customers. And I've heard some people, oh, Ben Shop down there in Brooklyn, Ben Shop in, no, they don't see Ben Shop in Brooklyn, they don't this, they don't that. Well, if you drive your Uber all over the place, how are you going to see Ben Shop in Brooklyn, right? Some of these people are new. They are new to the situation. They are just new to the situation. And so they are new to the situation. They are new to Brooklyn. They are new to those places. And so they don't know. A lot of things they just do not know. They just do not know at all. I'm glad that actually, as we go to this here, you will hear the lady from the owner from Pam's Bakery. One of the individuals, I'm not sure if he's getting a plate to cook up from Doris to go and talk dotishness. But listen to one of the stupidity. Went into this restaurant, went into Palm's restaurant with a video camera. Look, bread done. It becomes a comical stuff now. Is that what it is? But listen to the waitress. Sorry. Yeah, as you listen to the proprietress of Palm's Bakery yesterday, what she had to say about what really transpired. Here we go. End today, right? But just share the link quickly because we have a breaking news story here. And, we oftentimes like to say the breaking news story. Well, we have the proprietress of Pam's Bakery, and Pam's Bakery is located in Brooklyn there on Church, right at the corner of Schenectady, Church and Schenectady Avenues. You can't miss it at all. Just share the link for another 30 seconds, and we will let you know what is happening right now, coming from the owner of Pam's Bakery. It's right there in Church Avenue. I noticed somebody says that's their favorite bakery. Gully God is saying share the link. Keith Beresford is saying he's seated, but Keith Beresford is always seated. Let's go straight to the phone line where we have Miss Pam. She is the owner of Pam's Bakery on Church and Schenectady in Brooklyn. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I really appreciate this call.
Yeah, and
I'm very concerned of the visit that I had, which I would consider an impromptu visit, and I would rather this does not happen in the future. I would much prefer to have prior notice that we having government people visiting the facility. Number one, I was not present. That was not right or concerning to me that we had such a visit and I was not there.
Okay, so when did you learn about this visit at your business place?
When it was completed.
Okay, so what was the explanation given by your staff or whomever gave you the detail? What happened?
What they said, it was somebody called and said that the visitor would be coming in 5 minutes, which they thought it was a prank. And they never took it seriously because they all were very busy. We had a big order and they were trying to get it together. And the crowd of people started coming and she realized that this thing is real. Not knowing this before, she was unaware. I wasn't aware. I was not told. And she felt very imbalanced that this took place. But they had no choice. They were on them within a short space of time.
And of course, you were not there.
I'm out of state. My mom is 94. So we have to be taking it in turns as sisters and brothers taking care of my mom.
You know, I want, because you are saying here, I noticed somebody saying that, and I think this is, you know, this particular comment from this individual, you mean to tell me that you're the owner and you didn't know that Ali was going to your business? Can you repeat exactly what you said earlier about this exact?
I am Pam, the true Pam, the original Pam, started at Lenox Road and came through to Church Avenue, 4620 Church Avenue. I started at Lenox Road and I ended up now on Church Avenue. I am the original and only Pam's Bakery in Brooklyn. Any other Pam is not Pam's Bakery, coming from Church Avenue.
So your staff called you after everything happened, and they had your staff told you that this thing, they told you after what had transpired, and that there was no prior notice.
They had no choice as to get to me, and I making a decision, say, okay. I mean, my place is a public place. I served the community for years. We even have students there. So it's an open place. Yeah. I don't think that they would have closed the door when they were coming and said, y'all can't come in here.
Yeah,
they had no time for that anyway.
That is not how business, and people can get into trouble for that if they shut the door.
I couldn't do that. I would not encourage that. Yeah. It's a public place, and I served the community for years. I've been in business for more than 30 years.
You know, people.
You knew that.
Yeah, but I've gone there. I do on numerous occasions as well. Supported your business as well.
It started at Lenox Road and we came through to Church Avenue.
I see there's a comment here saying that your son disrespected Simona Brooms. I don't know.
My son, I have no kids.
You see, good. That's the problem. People love to jump. Some folks.
It has to be a mistaken identity. I have no kids.
Or it has to be
my kids is my staff.
Because people mix up Pam and Steve Bakery with Pam's Bakery sometimes, right?
That place is P and S. My place is Pam's Bakery. Over there is P and S.
Yeah, so I just want folks to understand that there are two bakeries. There's P and S, which is Pam and Steve, and there's Pam's Bakery. We are talking right now to Pam's Bakery, located on Church and Schenectady.
And the corner Schenectady.
So there's a difference. So how do you feel with the community, the Guyanese community in Brooklyn, feeling upset about this whole situation with having individuals visiting businesses who are ill-treating, especially folks of African descent back in Guyana? How do you feel that your business is now being attached to that?
I am concerned that we are caught up in this. I think it's an unnecessary situation that happened. I don't know how to put it, because I am not a political person. I was never a political person. I contribute to all the functions around. They come to me and I can contribute, I contribute. But when it comes to being political, whether it's in Guyana or America, I'm not that way. Was never a political person.
And so again, I just want our listeners to know that the proprietress of Pam's Bakery on Church Avenue in Schenectady, not PNS, this is Pam's, there's a big difference, and it takes a lot.
Only Pam's Bakery in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it takes
only one.
Yeah, it takes a lot out of somebody to call to say, look, Mark, I need to clear this thing up. I need to speak the truth. She's saying that her door is open for everyone. But how this happened, it was basically unannounced, and folks just barged in. Her staff members were caught off guard. For those who probably, are of the view that you got caught up in this mix-up, I'm sure you'd like to speak to them directly and let them know how you feel about it and clearing your business name.
I appreciate that this thing clear up as soon as possible. Because like I said, I am not into the politics, and I would like the entire country to know that we have nothing to do with the politics, however form it's taking. We have nothing to do with that. We're just there to serve the community. I've never shy away from that.
So again, I've noticed some folks are mixing up whether it is PNS. Guys, if you haven't gone to these places in Brooklyn, it will mix. You will feel confused. There's Pam and Steve Bakery, which is PNS, and there's Pam's Bakery. What you saw there with Irfan Ali, it wasn't your place that Irfan Ali was clapping roti in the kitchen.
No, he wasn't making roti in my kitchen. My staff was putting together stuff for a function. So they had no time to do that sort of display with roti, clapping, and what have you. That did not go on at my place.
Yeah. So again, guys, you guys are mixing the clapping roti up. The clapping of the roti isn't from this business. They just walked in and took some photographs, and that's it.
It, as far as I know, it was a photo op.
Yeah. All right. So
they did not even entertain them by offering a party, a pint tart, or nothing. They had no time because they were doing a big order to get it out at 3 o'clock.
All right.
And this bombardment of people, it was actually throwing them off, but thank God they made it on time.
Yeah. And so I just want to thank you so much for being as brave as you are to come and to explain exactly what transpired. Is there anything else you wish to say before we go, though?
Well, I appreciate the call, and I hope that this can cover some of what is going on. I'm not sure that I did the right thing by coming on air and letting the community know how I feel about that sort of the politics, getting involved as a business person.
Yep.
I'm no way involved in that.
Yep.
I would contribute to things. And most of those people know that Pam contributes to a lot of stuff out there. At times we have to turn people away because it's over the budget. Most times we go over the budget to contribute.
You have a lot
people who don't know.
You have a lot of people are saying that you did the right thing and they appreciate what you've done. Someone is asking whether it's Pam Eastman. I don't know who's Pam Eastman.
If it's what?
If it's Pam Eastman I'm speaking with.
No, this is Pamela McKenzie.
Yeah. Pamela McKenzie. And Pamela McKenzie, Pam's Bakery, she's the owner of Pam's
Church
Bakery.
Avenue.
Yeah, there's a difference between Pam and Steve's Bakery, which is PNS, and this business that you're looking at. The owner of the business, Pamela McKenzie, is on the line with us, and she's basically telling her story. She said she was not there. She's out of town. She's out of state. Her mom is not well, and her staff members got a call 5 minutes before the visit, and within that time, there was a bunch of people already there. She was not
there. Right there.
Yep. So thank you so much for clearing the air on this, Ms. McKenzie. I appreciate it. In fact, I heard that you taught in Guyana for many years. Thank you for contributing in that teaching profession, and even for what
you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sure. We'll be right. All right. That's Pam's Bakery. That's her. Someone that I've known for many, many years. And so when they made contact with me through another mutual friend, of course, she explained what transpired. And I know many of you have listened and you came to your own conclusions as to what happened, that Irfan Ali and his crew, we know who some of his crew, few members there in Brooklyn, what they did was basically organize this here and they went into these businesses and basically they just walk right in with their cameras and start snapping pictures. They went to the other bakery, not this Palms Bakery. This is not where they were clapping. Irfan was clapping roti, not this here. And so she came to clear the air that she was out of town, and she's still out of town. Her mother is 94 or 95 years old, not well, and they're taking turns to look after her mother in Florida. So when I'm on Church Avenue, I may jump on my bicycle, or I may jump in one of those dollar cabs, or I may have somebody who is driving Uber there in Brooklyn, right? Might move me around, and then I will go. I have $2 in my pocket. I'll go right here at Palms Bakery and buy me a cheese roll, and then I will skip and go to other places that respect us as a people and that do not support the oppressors until they got to come and explain. And the more those people at the hills continue to disrespect the order, they think that it is doing them any sort of justice. It is not doing them any justice. And so the more they have these kind of, it doesn't augur well at all for good business. Good sense can prevail, and if good sense doesn't prevail, then it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Do not send out threats to anybody. Do not walk into the hills and walk out back all excited, don't know what's happening, and issuing threats to people. It doesn't work well. I have been in a country, Guyana, where I've received tremendous amount of threats from drug lords, from black clothes police, from PPP operatives. It didn't faze me one bit. And so this individual, whomever he is, who feels that he can threaten me and others, walk out of the hills. I'm not sure if the proprietress of the hills is condoning these sort of acts. And if she is condoning these sort of acts, it is not working well in her favor. It is just not working well at all, period. I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow. Same place, same time. Be careful if you're in Brooklyn on Church Avenue. Be careful. Be careful with your bicycle, because you might be riding your bicycle. You might be riding your bicycle and a clung may just pop up on you and grab your bike. Somebody says that the dollar cab is now $3. I know the dollar cabs is now $3, but it is still called a dollar cab, right? Yeah. All right. I love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Same place, same time. Don't forget, Roycedale is going to be in Brooklyn next month, a town hall meeting at the Woodbine Ballroom. Woodbine, one of my favorite spots, a long time. Woodbine, and then they had, Starlight Ballroom. How many of you remember Starlight Ballroom? And right opposite Starlight there was a funeral home called Sparks Funeral Home. And then you go further down, there was Rose Garden, and then there was Starlight. How many of you remember that? And then some little pia folks talking about Ben Shab don't be on Church Avenue. Where were they when Church Avenue was real Church Avenue and the foundation of Church Avenue? Where were they? Guyana Roti House, Sybil's Restaurant, Georgetown Food Market, you name it. Give me a break. Some of these people. I mean, I pity them. Nothing personal against them, you know. I pity them, right? I pity them. Just be careful though with the threats. Say whatever you want to say. Be careful with the threats. Do not cross the line. Do not cross the line at all. That's all I wish to say for now. Spend your money wisely. Good night to the folks over at good night to the folks over at Linda's restaurant. Miss Linda. Strong woman. Kept her door shut. Strong woman. Go out there and support these businesses. Go out there and support the businesses that respect you. Nothing is wrong. Don't let people fool you guys. That Ben Shop calling for boycott on all them businesses. No, read between the lines. Do not let people be presumptuous and feel they could talk to us anyhow. Don't disrespect us. Embrace dictators and embrace people who hurt you and feel that they could bully, get people to walk in their business and yeah. It is damaging your business more. Somebody called Doris and tell her that those people are not doing any good. It is worse than a protest. They're damaging your business more. But more so, Doris, I say this to you. A lot of people don't know Doris and I have gone way back. Way back. And not personal friends, but way back. When some of those Looney Tunes weren't even close to Church Avenue. They weren't around those. They don't know what's happening. They just don't know what's happening. I'm not even sure they know much about what is it? Much about Brooklyn. And let me show you guys something about Brooklyn as we go down memory lane. Look at this here. How many of you recognize anybody in this photograph here? Let me see if you guys recognize anyone in this photograph. Anyone at all? Anyone? Do you guys? This was Church Avenue. This is Church Avenue. This is Church Avenue, Chisel, Chip Peppers. You know, where were some of these newcomers? You know, feel that they could jump on a live and disrespect the order of the day. Okay, you guys are only seeing me. Who else are you seeing? And this is Church Avenue. This is Church Avenue. Rhonda Lane, thank you. Faye Ann, yeah, have you seen? That's President Hoyt. And Church Avenue, that's the late Dr. Faith Harding. And the lady there in the middle is Sybil's, the late Sybil's, the owner of Sybil's Restaurant. A lot of you don't know, but yes, the owner of Sybil's Restaurant. Where? On Church Avenue, the foundation. Church Avenue. Don't be fooled, guys. Don't let people come and tell you anything. Don't let people come and tell you anything at all. Don't let them. Look, let's go back to Church Avenue again. I'm walking you guys down Church Avenue. This is where we had a vigil. Bet some of them who mouthing off. This was back in 2012. Right there, a candlelight vigil for the 3 persons who were slaughtered by members of the Guyana police force in Linden. We had this right there on Church Avenue at the corner of 49th Street and Church Avenue. At the corner of 49th Street many years ago, they had a nice store. A lot of Guyanese used to hang out there. Lots of Guyanese used to hang out there. It's called Georgetown Food Market with Doreen and Frank. Georgetown Food Market, and we sit outside and we play our dominoes after work, and we had fun. Lots of ex-policemen, GT bodyguard, boredom bodyguard. You see here. So look, there's a history. There's a history in Brooklyn, and I've always supported all those businesses in Brooklyn and continue to support those businesses in Brooklyn, except the ones who are now being pompous, being presumptuous, and all manner of things. And so don't let people fool you. Don't let people try to give you a different impression. Don't let them do that at all, because it's not working. It's not working. There are business people, a few of them, who have disrespected the community, and they need to apologize to the community. And without that apology, all I'm saying, without that apology, they're not going to get a cent from me. And if you guys also who reside in Brooklyn don't want to give them a cent, you have every right not to do that also. Simple as that. That's just what it is. Every right to walk past your business, because if they're going to put people up to be disrespectful, then you know what you got to do? Just bypass their business. Bypass their business. How many of you guys know this woman? Let me see if you guys know Brooklyn well enough. We're going down a little memory lane. How many of you guys know this person in the picture? Both. Do you know both persons in the picture? You know who they are? Let me see. Let me see if you guys really, really know Brooklyn and Church Avenue and so forth. Linda Short is saying those were the days. Yes, Simone Blackman. Una Clark, the first councilwoman, my good friend, campaigned with her first seat, and then after that there was term limits, and then her daughter, and then that's Yvette Clark right now. Yeah. So the history is solid, and I can't have anybody. We don't see Mark Dung, Church Avenue. We don't see Mark Dung. Been there, done that, guys. Been there, done that. Right there on Church Avenue, and a lot of them weren't even around. A lot of them weren't even around. There was, what was it? Then there was a church, this church on right there on Church Avenue, Life Center. Life Center. Where were these guys? Look at that guy preaching there at Life Center out there in Brooklyn. And I'm just showing you guys, don't let people tell you or give you the impression that I'm some kind of Johnny come lately, just come around on the block and don't know Church Avenue and don't support businesses on Church Avenue. Those old timers will tell you. The old timers will tell you. The newcomers on the block wouldn't know about Church Avenue and the foundation of Church Avenue. They wouldn't know that. But they're going to talk and they're going to talk. I was looking for another photograph to show you guys something else. But they're going to talk and they're going to talk and talk and talk all manner of things. But don't worry about them. The evidence is always there. I'm not against businesses, whether it's in Brooklyn or outside of Brooklyn. Certainly not against those businesses. What I'm against is business people just basically embracing oppressors, and those who are embracing the oppressors, they expect us to support them. That is what they're doing. And all we're saying is that it's just not going to happen at all. It is not going to happen. Let me see before we go. I know you guys are not sleepy. Let me see how many of you guys know this guy here. How many of you guys know this guy if you know Brooklyn? How many of you guys know this guy? We're talking about Brooklyn and the strength of Brooklyn. We cannot allow the strength of Brooklyn to disappear like that and to be hijacked by a few who do not understand, it appears, who do not understand their history. How many of them? They don't. Chisel is saying, Una Clark, you know what you do. Of course. Ask how many of them would go to jail and come out as gracefully as thank you, Chisel. Yeah, a lot of them. We see Chisel. Chisel knows what's going on. Margaret Hunter knows what's going on. Myself and my good friend, the late John Blue, right next to the hills. He owned a lot of buildings there. Popular real estate guy. His daughter, Anne Blue, was a brilliant attorney at law. Don't come and tell me about businesses in Brooklyn and Church Avenue, and don't come to me with that. The newcomers are the ones who gaff in, the depon gaff, right? The depon gaff, but I want to show you guys something else that's going to shock some of the gaffers. Let me see if you guys recognize anyone here. And this was in 2014. Let me see if you guys recognize anyone here. Y'all recognize anybody in this picture? Anyone at all in this picture? Talk to me as we prepare to run off and jump in our beds. You recognize anybody? You recognize this place? You know where this is? Do you guys know where this is? But yet the newcomers, they would talk and talk and talk. Leland Saul, how are you, sir? Margaret Hunter, like you know the whole of Brooklyn, them on. Rhonda Lane, recognize me? Wow. Thank you. Somebody recognized me. Somebody recognized me. Yeah. So don't listen to these people as they talk. I am for business. I've always been for business and very supportive of business in Brooklyn. Guyanese businesses have always received my support. Do not let anyone fool you. These folks who are embracing Irfan Ali, who doesn't care about persons of African descent in Guyana, they've got to rethink their position. They've got to respect the community. And I'm calling on Doris, the proprietress of Hills Restaurant, to respect the community. Come out, and you can have certain people or have certain people to say that they are going to bad talk others in your name. And don't expect things to backfire and the boycott to increase. Don't expect that, Doris. You know, I've been to your business many years ago, but I still, over the years, always talk about the Hills. I find the Hills to be, at least when I attended it, it was nice, a good hang, go down in the basement, and whoever get a little rum in the bottle and so, or the cup or whatever. So, yeah, that's Doris and another. I'm not going to tell y'all who the other lady is in my heart. Y'all jealous. That's your problem. Y'all jealous. And then there was something else. You know, I like to give Jack the jacket. And many years ago, there was something, and 2014 again. Guess what happened? Guess who was smiling for me at the Hills? Guess who was smiling for me at the Hills? Doris. Gave her right there on Church Avenue. Gave her props then as a businesswoman in the community. We don't want to see our businesses fail, but what we want is our business people to respect the community. Don't bring in dictators and have them rush across into the community and disrespect us as a people. That is all I'm saying. And Doris, you've got to wake up. Got to wake up. I hope it's soon, though. All right. I'm out of here. You guys know what to do until they do what is right and to apologize to the community. Until then, just spend your money somewhere else. And the more they cuss, or the more they put people up to cuss who understand the history, who doesn't know what's going on, the more they're going to make it bad for themselves. That's just me, and that's what I'm saying. But listen to this here, please. This is what they were saying, that they had planned all along. James Richmond is saying is not he. So he wants his name removed. He got to deal with a newspaper for that. That's the pastor, Richmond. Everything now is not he. Hey, take my name down. But we are hearing here that the manager who, along with Claire Patterson, Sheriff Baker or Barker, along with Claire Patterson Mona and James Richmond, well, the pastor James Richmond, he pulled himself out quick. He said, nah, he. But according to Tangerine Clark in this paper, they helped to organize the Brooklyn walkabout. Said the community has been trying to get the commander-in-chief to visit the community for a long time. For a long time. Not for a decent, what you call, town hall meeting to respect you, the people. It's about time you demand that respect. Grabbing you and taking a selfie to you and forcing themselves into your businesses with cameras and videoing and going live. It is unhealthy. Who does that? Who does that? Barge into people's kitchen and start clapping roti. Who does that? Only a classless person who would call himself a president of a country would do that. But they don't want to have town hall meetings to talk to you, the people. They don't want to do that. They just don't want to do that. Brooklyn is the strongest Guyanese community that we have. And we've got to respect that. The foundation has always been Brooklyn before individuals started to go over to Queens. And Queens have had their problems as well. And when they had their problems, we were there for them too. Do not allow somebody like Irfan Ali to divide your community. Do not allow somebody like Irfan Ali, who doesn't give a rat's you know what about you. Do you think he cares about a young black guy or a young black woman? He doesn't care about you guys. We have gone through them and all of that. And when there's always a harm, y'all don't rush to Jack Day or Irfan Ali. Y'all know who y'all rush to for people to defend you guys. I will always be there. And others like myself who defend individuals, we will always be there for you guys. We can take the little cursing. It's okay. It comes with the territory. You cuss up and yam and blap and yam and chewing gum and it's something. But be careful, Doris. Be careful with individuals who are going into your restaurant, making lives and threatening people. I do not take threats lightly. I repeat, I do not take threats lightly. I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time. God bless you all. And until then, what is it? Let's get some ads going. Kadaki, he has karaoke tomorrow. Go out, support Kadaki. Once you're in Buxton, you're in Guyana. Go out there and support the brother. He deserves the support. So long.
Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out, let's make memories at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton North.